Hi, my name is Caleb Bowling, and today I'm with Roman Trevino. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
Roman, were you and your family migrant farm workers? And if so, how did working in the fields conflict with your school?
First of all, let me answer that I started school in September of 1949, and I attended a segregated school until the sixth grade. But no, my family was not were not migrant workers. I did work out in the fields in the surrounding within the community, but I did not go out of the county or out of state and qualify as a migrant. But yeah, I only worked in the fields during the summer months.
Tell me what your school was like. How was your learning environment?
Uh, we were all Mexican American kids in my school. And like I said, it was a segregated school. I did not attend school with any Anglo kids until the at the beginning of the sixth grade. Uh, we were first of all we were punished if you did not know if you spoke Spanish at all. They forced you to speak English all the time. Now, most of the time, the students did not know English, so they struggled quite a bit.
Did teachers treat you unfairly because you were Latino?
During my elementary years, I don't know if they treated us unfairly or not, since I was not exposed to uh, any other ethnic students, but I did experience it later on during my junior high and high school years where a lot of the teachers seemed like they favored the Anglo students and helped them with their work, and they would ignore us completely.
Um, did you struggle in school with any particular subject?
The one subject that I struggled the most with was geometry, and that teacher, for example, favored the Anglo students and did not help any Hispanic students at all.
Did your parents speak English?
Yes,
Were they able to help you with your work?
my mother helped me, was able to help. She attended school up until the 11th grade. My dad only attended school either the third, fourth, or fifth grade only. So my mother could help me with homework.
Today I'm interviewing Lucina Trevino. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Tell me about how your school was like. How was your learning environment?
Well, I went to a segregated school during my elementary years.
Did teachers treat you unfairly because you were Latino?
I don't think so. I think that they were partial to students who seemed to be better students than others, but I don't think so.
Were your teachers well educated?
For the most part, I would say that they either were college graduates or were on track to uh, finish their college degree.
Did you have Latino, Anglo, or African American teachers?
At my school during the early years, 95% of the teachers were Anglo women. There were only a handful of Hispanic uh, teachers later on in the uh, later years.
Did this affect your learning?
Well, I think it would have been nice to have role models, um, but I think that personally I tried my best as a student. I think, though, it would have been very nice if I could have had Hispanic teachers that I could have related to and spoken with about their experiences. Uh, but that's the way it was.
Did you speak English?
As a child,
Yes.
no. Spanish was spoken in my home, and so when I went to first grade, I did not know any English at all. So it's a struggle. It was a struggle, uh, but of course, I wanted to do the best that I could, so I learned it as quickly as I could.
Was speaking Spanish a problem at school?
Oh yes, all through school, all 12 years, you were not allowed. It was against the rules, and if you spoke Spanish, you were punished.
Did your parents speak English?
Enough to get by.
Were your parents able to help you with your work at all?
No, no, they were not, but they always provided support. They wanted to make sure that if I had some kind of problem, that there was help for me, and they always expected me to do the best that I could.
Did you go to college? Why or why
Yes, I did, and one reason was that there was never a question about my going to college. I had aunts and uncles that had gone to college, and so that was part of my experience, and I always knew that I would be going.
not? Today I'm interviewing Fernanda Trevino. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you.
Let's talk about affirmative action. Do you feel affirmative action played a role in your education or education of your family members?
I don't think it played a role. I do think that it is something very important that helps a lot of people. But in my case, I don't think it had anything to do with my education.
Do you agree or disagree with the idea of affirmative action?
I think that there's a lot of people, especially Latino people, that have a disadvantage in going to college and universities, and I think affirmative action does help them achieve their goals.
Is there any ideas that you could think of that would help Latinos achieve a better education?
I think as a teacher, I think that kids and students need to be encouraged, and they need to have good role models to help them achieve their goals, and also they have to be encouraged as much as they can to go to college and university and get degrees.
Last year, the Texas Board of Education voted 11-3 to offer a class on Mexican American studies to public high schools to students. Do you agree with their decision?
Yes, I think that the more that we can learn about our culture, the best outcomes we're going to see with people understanding other cultures. I think that having a class on Mexican American studies is going to be very interesting, and it's going to help a lot of people understand their culture better.
Today I'm interviewing Tim Trevino. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Caleb.
Do you feel affirmative action played a role in your education or education of your family members?
Thank you for the question. Excellent question. In short, yes, it did play a role in my education, my family members' education. To give you an example, I received several grant awards and scholarships to attend Southwestern University in Georgetown. It was affirmative action related, and I think it was wonderful. Had those opportunities not been there, I don't believe I would have had the same opportunity.
Do you agree with or disagree with the idea of affirmative action?
Oh, most definitely. I think historically there has been a segment of society that has been either underserved or underprivileged, and the very notion of affirmative action is to create an equal playing field.
Other than affirmative action, is there any other ideas that you could think of that would help Latinos achieve a better education?
From my own sort of familial upbringing, I think the very concept of promoting education within the household, you can't beat that. I think the family structure that we had growing up certainly helped us in recognizing that without an education, it was going to be difficult to achieve our dreams. So I think it fundamentally starts at home. You have to have that basic support system, whether it's from your parents, your extended family, your siblings. You need to have that.
Let's talk about the DREAM Act. The DREAM Act is a proposed bill that allows illegal immigrants the chance to stay and receive college education and become a U.S. citizen. Do you think the DREAM Act helps Latinos get a better education?
I think the DREAM Act, in broad terms, is not unique to Latinos. It is for any individual that came to this country through no fault of their own. Let's keep in mind, and we have to keep this in context, that most of the people that would be impacted by the DREAM Act are young folks that came with their parents to this country when they were infants, when they couldn't make choices themselves. So through no fault of their own, they have been productive members of society. Who knows? We may have deported the person that could have invented the next opportunity to go to Mars. But I think it's a great opportunity. These are people that have been productive members of society. Work with those individuals and help them stay here. Because again, this is their country. They are woven into the fabric of the society. Everything that they know in their life has been the United States of America. So I think it is important that we look at the larger issue here and not just say, oh, you're here illegally, we got to deport you. Well, I mean, look at the context. Context is everything.
Thank you very much for taking time to do this interview. You have been very helpful.
Thank you, Caleb. Good luck.